Hey folks, and welcome to the Daily Ratings Weekly Movie News Podcast. This week's news brought to you by a pretty normal week of news, actually. So yes, some updates here on previously announced films. First, Incredibles 3 looks to be moving forward. The first two Incredibles were written and directed by Brad Bird. Bird has written the script for Incredibles 3, but directing has been passed on to Peter Sohn, who made Elemental and The Good Dinosaur. It's sounding like the voice recording will start this March, and is rumored that Incredibles 3 will be hitting theaters in summer of 2028. The new James Bond film over at Amazon looks like they will be making casting announcements in the middle of this year, so we still have some time to wait on that. Director Denis Villeneuve does have final say on who plays Bond, but it sounds like auditions have not even started yet, probably because Denis is still heavily involved with Dune 3. Filming for Bond will probably take place in about a year after Dune has come out in late December, but the rumblings sound pretty cool of what they're going for. So rumors are that they want the new Bond to be very gritty and very deadly. They want to represent Bond from some of Ian Fleming's earliest books, so possibly even setting the film in the 50s or 60s when Bond is still just a naval officer before even entering into the 00 program. So kind of cool, but of course that is all speculation as of right now. Mamma Mia 3 is alive and well. Universal has been keeping the film going, and some news is out about it now as they are making it more official. So director Paul Feig, who directed The Housemaid and will be directing the just-announced The Housemaid 2, will now also be directing Mamma Mia 3. He's a very busy man lately. No set dates or cast news right now, but you can probably expect Amanda Seyfried and some other big stars to join in on the musical. It's been 8 years since Mamma Mia 2, so by the time 3 comes out, it might actually catch some steam and attention, maybe even a cultural event that people will go and be pumped for it. So we'll see for Mamma Mia 3. Ted Sarandos over on Netflix is changing his tune a little bit after a lot of fear and backlash. It does appear that Warner Brothers wants to ink a deal with Netflix and not Paramount, no matter how much Paramount is pushing. The most fear and backlash for Sarandos over on Netflix is the theatrical releases of the films. And with Netflix building a business model of anti-theater, I think the fears were kind of warranted. So Sarandos came out a few weeks ago saying that don't worry, they will commit to a 17-day release schedule for all the coming Warner movies, which is extremely unsubstantial, and he continued to come under a lot of heat for that. But now, Sarandos says he's much warmer to theatrical releases and has now vowed to a 45-day release window for new films. So that's getting there, that's much better, and we'll see how the contract really plays out. For now, even if it's just talk, it is in a better direction than what we've gotten before, and as always, we will just have to see how it all comes out. And not too much news this week. It was pretty quiet, but director Tim Miller, who has made Deadpool and Terminator Dark Fate, he will be making a new film called Shiver at Warner, and that's starring Keanu Reeves. It's about a smuggler who gets caught in the middle of a deadly double-cross in the Caribbean, and he finds himself trapped in a lethal time loop and scrambling to break the cycle. So, kind of up Keanu's lane, but also something definitely a little bit different. They're saying it's a little Edge of Tomorrow-ish, so kind of excited for that. Good that that's happening. And then the Norwegian film Sentimental Value, which we covered a couple weeks ago on the show, that just swept through the European Film Awards. So, you might be able to catch it in a theater still near you, but also it's available for rent on Amazon if you're interested. So check it out if you want. Vin Daly gave it a 66. But with that, let's jump on over to the box office for this past weekend. So fifth biggest for the weekend was Marty Supreme with $5.5 million. That now makes a U.S. total of $80 million. That's the highest grossing A24 film yet. Fourth at the box office was The Housemaid with $8.5 million. Third was Zootopia 2, making $8.8 million, a U.S. total of $393, and breaking the record for a U.S.-made animated film for a worldwide total of $1.7 billion. That movie did very well. Second was 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, that's newly released, and that made $13 million. And then the biggest movie this weekend was, again, Avatar, Fire and Ash. That brought in $13.3 million for a U.S. total of $367 and a worldwide of $1.32 billion. Coming up this Thursday, Vincent Daly will be watching, rating, and reviewing. Once again, absolutely nothing, because we're sitting down and reviewing the films coming out in 2026. The good films, the odd films, and probably the pretty bad films. It's going to be a blast, so stop on by to get a feel for the upcoming 12 months, or kind of 11-ish months of movies. But with that, that's your weekly movie news here, folks. We'll leave you today with a quote from an actor, Keanu Reeves. I did Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and they made a cereal out of it. So once you've had a cereal, it doesn't get much more surreal than that. Surreal cereal. And all right, folks, the Daily Ratings weekly movie news podcast, that was it. See you on Thursday.